does the phrase animal abuse or animal rights really mean? To some, this phrase is an over-exaggeration of an animal situation, while others view it as a call to arms. In recent years, the care and abuse of exotic animals in circuses has been in the public's view more than ever. After researching this topic over the last year, I have come to realize that the exotic animal business inside of circuses is quite disturbing. I have learned of the lack of concern on behalf of citizens around the world, the conditions that many of the animals have to endure on a daily basis, and also the efforts of many to rectify these conditions. Many people see the animals in a circus as something other than an actual sentient being, capable of feeling physically, emotionally, or mentally. Everyone should know that animals can feel and have emotions and should be treated as such, no matter if they are show animals or household pets. Until recently, there has been almost no protection in regards to the care and training practices of circus animals through local and federal laws. The selling and transfer of animals, once deemed non-profitable, and the rehabilitation towards exotic animals involved in the circus industry. Not having specific wording in legislation, states are free to leave the treatment and care of animals to the owners or persons in charge of the care, with little to no oversight or regulation. In many circuses across the world, animals are not protected under government-imposed laws, and these animals, often big animals such as lions, tigers, elephants, and so forth, are kept in small spaces where their movement is highly restricted. Being in small, cramped spaces limits the instinctual interaction between animals. For some, like lions and monkeys, that interaction is a vital part of their psyche. Animals stuck in a small space that does not afford them the ability of movement can have psychological effects similar to those of the prisoners held in Auschwitz. Care of these majestic animals is more than just their living conditions. It also includes training techniques and equipment. Many of the laws written today only place significant emphasis on what tools can or cannot be used on or with the animals in circuses. One example of this is Ohio's law ORC 959.20, which states that twisted wire snaffles, unpadded buckling straps, unpadded flank straps, electric or other prods, or similar devices are banned from use with animals in the United States. The use of the bullhook on elephants is just one example of a harmful tool that is not banned under any law or regulation in other countries. Bullhooks target the vulnerable parts of an elephant, such as the bottoms of their feet, around the eyes and trunks, or behind the ears. Many animals that have these tools used on them are just doing what seems logical, instinctual, or what seems to be the command given. If the order is given in a manner they understand, without unnecessary force or undue pain, the animal will more than likely follow the command. Although the animals are relatively taken care of, the circuses only want them when they are useful. There are accounts of circuses selling their big cats and other large mammals to places that allow hunting, and that these places are paid to let people hunt these animals that the circus have retired and that some zoos no longer want. This process of buying the animals and then allowing them to be hunted is called canned hunts. These canned hunts are not strictly illegal, but some states in the United States have enacted legislation to regulate the public safety and disease control, even though the canned hunts have not actually been addressed. The United States government has taken steps to protect the citizens from diseases that could be transmitted by the animals in these canned hunt locations, but has taken no action against the senseless slaughter of animals that have no fear of humans, due to the fact that they have been around humans and have relied on them for years. Tim Phillips, one of the founders of Animal Defenders International, said the following to ABC News about captive animals taken from circuses. quote, "The dream would be to put these animals back in the wild. But you can't do that. They've had torn from them the ability to cope in the wild," unquote. Even in the transfer or transport of these animals, the cramped spaces cause limits to the instinctual interaction between the animals, taking away their ability to function alone. These majestic animals are sometimes kept in small spaces that are not big enough to house one animal. Lions, bears, tigers, and mountain lions are only some of the animals that have large territories and are on the move for a significant part of their day in the wild, which emphasizes the abuse of the animals kept in small cages. There are many who would just have these animals sold to canned hunting facilities, but there are increasing numbers of organizations and individuals that are trying to save and rehabilitate as many of the animals as possible. When animals are brought up in a place of pain and terror, they are not able to hone the natural skills and instincts that are necessary to survive in the wild when born and raised in a circus setting. Because of this inadequacy, the animals would more than likely not survive for any real length of time if ever released into their natural habitats with no human interaction. Countries are stepping up to the challenge of helping these animals. Peru has taken steps into saving animals from the treatment they are receiving in these circuses. As part of new legislation, Animal Defenders International liberated a tiger, a mountain lion, and over 30 African lions from their circus homes and transported them to different sanctuaries around the world. The lions were relocated to Africa, and the mountain lion and tiger found new homes in Florida and another sanctuary in Peru. Organizations that defend animal rights for any number of situations have taken it upon themselves to be the animal's voice of complaint and to tell their stories to have justice served. There are so many ways to help these animals that are already facing oppressive living conditions and abuse on a daily basis. Citizens of every nation can donate to organizations such as Animal Defenders International. They could also volunteer at shelters or sanctuaries to give these animals a chance to live a full and happy life. A possible solution to this problem of cruel treatment towards animals being used in entertainment is rather simple. To really change the state of affairs that are apparent to many people, the world has to wake up from its deep slumber of, "It's not my problem," or "Someone better suited will come and do a much better job than I could," and see that something has to change. These animals were meant to be in the lives of many from the comfort of their natural wild habitat. They were never meant to be kept in small cages and beaten to subjugate them to the will of the ringmasters. Animals everywhere, whether they are part of a circus or a household pet, should be protected from poor living conditions and training practices, being sold off to be hunted in a canned hunt, and given the opportunity to be rehabilitated from a life of abuse. I hope that I have introduced you to the conditions that animals in the circus are having to endure on a daily basis around the world, as well as what you can do to help make the lives of these animals better. Whether one wants to turn a blind eye or take this as a call to arms, remember what Cesar Chavez said, quote, "We need, in a special way, to work twice as hard to help people understand that the animals are fellow creatures, that we must protect them and love them as we love ourselves," unquote. We need to stop animal abuse in all of its forms.